Hello, my name's Aviva, and today I wanted to share with you some of the books that I might be reading in the month of September. And I say that very, very loosely, mostly because I am not extremely excited for like half the books on this TBR, but I have been running very, very low on my romance physical TBR. Like, I have a very big fantasy TBR because like at the end of my fantasy era, I had bought a lot of books and then I never ended up getting to them. So they have been sitting there for like a year and a half untouched, and I don't really plan to get them to them anytime soon. But my romance TBR has been slowly dwindling, like very, very low for the past little while, because I've been working really hard on reading the books that I've already purchased, which is a really good thing to do. And I've also been working really hard on not buying too many books at once so that hopefully none of them end up getting stuck on my physical TBR. And I have been doing a better job than I anticipated doing with that. And therefore I've been running very, very, very low on my romance physical TBR. So I really didn't have a lot of books to choose from on like what I wanted to put on my September TBR, because like literally, like besides for the ones I'm going to like share with you in today's video, I maybe have like 10 more books on my shelves that like I have absolutely no interest in reading, but I own. So like technically they're on my TBR, but basically I don't have a lot of books that I'm very excited to read anymore, and I definitely do have to go book shopping very soon. But honestly, like I don't even have a lot of books that like are on my radar that I'm very excited to read. So I'm in a bit of a dilemma like at the very moment, if you can't tell. And honestly, there are like way worse problems to have, but this is my problem at the moment. So either way, today I'm going to share with you a handful of books that I might read throughout the month of September, but hopefully I will also come across a handful of new books that I want to get, and then I'll get those and then I won't have to read these. But if that doesn't happen, then these are the books that are like highest up on my TBR for this month. So either way, with that said, did I confuse you? Because honestly, I confused myself. Let's just get into the books that I might be reading over the next couple of weeks. So first up, I wanted to share with you this series called Shadow Falls by CC Hunter. So these are actually going to be a reread for me, and I might not end up getting through all of them. Basically, I read these for the first time maybe like 7 years ago. I've only read them once, but I really did enjoy them when I read them, but I was way less picky like way back when I was hardly reading. Like I picked these books up like when I wasn't really into reading. I just like had to like waste a couple of days. So I read these because my sister owned them, and basically I liked them at the time. But I was thinking about doing a reread of these via audio because my sister recently reread these as well, and she told me that like she really loved them too, and like we were younger, that's the reason why I had read them. But when she did a reread now that we're older, she realized that like the writing was not that great, and it honestly like wasn't as good as she remembered it being. So I'm thinking that I might do it via audio because I feel like I'll pick up on the weird writing or anything like that a little bit less, because I'll be listening to it instead of like reading it and everything like that, because I'm kind of down to like, revisit the story. Did I not tell you what it's about yet? This is a like urban fantasy paranormal romance of sorts, and I'm pretty sure it's YA. It's probably YA because like I read it when I was in like middle school or something like that. But either way, it's basically about this girl who ends up getting sent to this summer camp for troubled kids because she got in trouble or something like that. So her parents sent her there, and basically when she gets there, she's like, oh, I don't really belong here, blah, blah, blah. Like I didn't really do anything that bad, even though I can't really remember what she did to get sent there. But either way, she gets sent there and she finds out that every kid that is in this camp is not normal. Like they're either a vampire or a werewolf or like a fairy or some sort of like magical being. And she's like, I'm a normal person. Like, I don't know why I got accepted into this camp. They're like, you wouldn't have gotten accepted if you aren't special in some way. So basically the story more or less is like her finding out why she got accepted to this camp, and like, what is so special about her, and like what magical powers does she have. And there's also like a couple of like romances going on. I'm pretty sure she has like a love triangle situation between like a werewolf from her past and then like maybe like a vampire or something like that. I don't really remember the details too much because I read these years and years ago, but I do remember a couple of points, and I do remember like really enjoying them overall. So I do think that over the next month or so, these might be the audiobooks that I end up listening to. But honestly, if I end up getting through the first book or so and I don't end up enjoying it, I might just like scratch this because I've already read them. So like, why force myself through a reread if I'm not enjoying it? But if I do end up enjoying it, then I will hopefully get through all of these in the month of September. So yeah, that is my plan for audiobooks this month. And then after that, I was thinking about continuing with this book, Always Enough by Kelly Elliott. So this is the second book in the Meet Me in Montana companion series. And I had read the first book, I'm pretty sure in August, but I honestly can't remember because it was a while ago. And I didn't end up loving it because there were a couple of things about the book that just like don't personally work for me. Like there was an accidental pregnancy and like it was a very short timeline. I felt that they fell in love a little bit too quickly, like a little bit of instant attraction sort of situation. There was just a couple of things that like don't personally work for my taste, but I actually really enjoyed like the vibe of the story and the writing style and everything along those lines. And I feel like if I picked up the right romance specifically, then like this type of author and like these stories can work for me. So I am hoping to continue on with this series and see if maybe book 2 is a little bit better, a little bit more up my alley. We'll see. But basically, because I didn't love book 1, I'm very hesitant to pick up book 2, but I don't really have that many choices of books to read because I don't own that many that I haven't read yet. So I'm kind of going to hopefully force myself to continue on with this series this month. And if this one ends up going good, I do have 2 more books in the series. Like I think it's like book 3 and book 4. I don't even know what they're called. But either way, if this one ends up going well, then I could continue on with the series from there. So cross my fingers for this one. But either way, after this, I am also thinking that I might read Shattered Sea by Catherine Cowell. So I have less than zero clue what this book is actually about. When I went to Book Bonanza, I think it was at the beginning of July. So like, sometime in the beginning of the summer, I got this book for free. Like it was one of the arcs that this author was giving out. Like she had like 5 at her table and she's like, the first 5 people that get to my table, on the first day or whatever is going to get one of these arcs. And I was one of the first 5 people. So I got this arc, and I have read Tattered Stars by this author, and I'm pretty sure it's a previous book in this series. I don't know what number this one is, but either way, I now own this book, and I have already read all of the other books that I already own by this author. I think I've read like 3 by her so far, and I have like, thoroughly enjoyed them. And I have heard good things about this book, even though I don't even like know what it's about. Like I've just seen a couple of people post about it, and like I saw generally that like their review was positive. So hopefully I will end up getting to this in the month of September. I really don't have a reason not to pick this one up. I just have to like kind of get myself in the mood for like another romantic suspense, because that's what all of these, like all of the books by this author like are. So next time that mood hits, hopefully this book will end up getting picked up. But either way, after this, I am also hoping to read Ride by Harper Dallas. And I actually am very excited to read this one because I did recently purchase it and I just haven't had a chance to pick it up yet. So without a doubt, I'm going to end up getting to this book in the month of September. Like it's probably going to be one of my next reads. I just have not started it yet. And either way, this is some sort of like snowboarding romance between like a snowboarder and then his photographer. And I'm pretty sure he's like, a bit of a playboy, and she like wants to stay away from him, but for some reason, like he's going to pursue her or something like that. Like very classic, I was a player until I met you storyline, but it does have like a main guy snowboarder, and I'm a huge fan of that. So I'm honestly very, very, very excited to read this book. So hopefully I will get to this one soon, because I have a feeling it's going to end up being a really good one. So yeah, with that said, I also am very excited to read Blindside by Candy Steiner. So I did recently get this book as well, and I just have not had a chance yet to pick it up, but hopefully I will pick it up soon. It's some sort of like fake dating sports romance of sorts, and I don't know too much about it, but I've heard amazing things, and I am hopefully going to pick this up over the next couple of days, because this is one of my most anticipated books from this entire stack of books that I'm sharing with you today. So yeah, Blindside by Candy Steiner. But either way, after that, another, set of books that I'm actually very excited to read and hopefully we'll get to over the next couple of weeks is the rest of the Bayley Brothers companion series. So in August, I did read books 1 through 3, and I'm actually planning on reading book 4, hopefully today, like the day that I'm filming this video. So by the time that this video is up, I probably will have already posted my review for this on my Instagram if you were interested in like how it ended up going. But basically over the next, couple of weeks in September, I will hopefully finish the rest of this series. I have been trying to like space them out a little bit, because I was worried that like I would get a little bit sick of it over time. Like 6 books, different romances, yeah, but like all the same vibe, because like they're all brothers and it's like the same small town, same sort of thing going on. So I've been trying to space them out so that I don't end up like not enjoying them, because I really do love the family and I'm loving the vibe of the small town and all the little like things that happen in each book that are all like the same. Like there's like just stuff going on throughout this story, like very minimally, like how do you say it? It's a companion companion series. So there are things that are like, playing out like, slowly throughout all 6 books. And basically I'm really enjoying like the general theme of it. So hopefully over the next couple of weeks, I will end up finishing this companion series, and I will be starting with book 4 because that's the next one that I have to read. So yeah, that is that. But either way, after that, I have a couple more books to share with you that I probably will not end up getting to. But if for some reason I finish all of the books that I've already shared with you and then I don't end up purchasing any new books, these are the ones that I'm going to have to read, or else I'm not going to have anything to read. So next up, I am going to be sharing with you Damage Like Us by Kristen Becker-Ritchie, which what is this? September is month 9, so this is probably the 9th time that I put this on my TBR this year. I finally have come to the conclusion that I might not ever read this series. I own the first 6 books in this series. This is the spin-off series from the Addicted/Calloway Sisters series, and basically I keep saying that I'm going to read this and then I never end up getting to it. And over the past couple of weeks, I finally realized that I just don't think I want to jump back into the world. And I think I made a really big mistake on not reading these the second that I finished the Addicted/Calloway Sister series. Like, I was so into the universe in the moment that I was reading all 10 books in the original series. And then I was kind of like, you know what? I should pause. I should save these for the next time I want to go back into the universe. And then I just kept saving them and kept saving them. And then it got to be just a little bit too long. And now I have too much anxiety to jump back in. I almost don't want to touch it because I don't think that I'm going to love them as much as I loved the Addicted series, because I don't know, I'm just getting that vibe that even though I've heard such amazing things about this book and this series in general, and supposedly they're just as good as the original series, for some reason I no longer really want to read about the children. I kind of want to keep the original series in my head as to how they were, and I don't want to see these kids grow up and then have their own dramas and their own problems, if that makes sense. I feel like that totally makes sense if you're as crazy as me and you could understand my thought process. But either way, 9 months after I first said that I was going to hopefully read this, I am now thinking that I might not ever get to it, but also I'm not giving up on it yet. So I'm adding it to my TBR so that I can make myself feel bad that I don't end up reading it over the next 30 days. But honestly, something might change, and for some odd reason, I might decide to randomly jump back into this world. So we will see about this, but at the moment, I don't have a lot of expectations toward this book, if that makes sense. I feel like I said that wrong, but whatever. Hopefully you understood what I was trying to say. So yeah, Damage Like Us by Kristen Becker-Ritchie. But either way, after that, I probably will not read this book either. But The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So I bought this book, I think maybe around this time last year, and I was excited to read it in the moment, but it was really honestly on the edge of when I was just stopping to read YA romances. This time last year, I was reading YA romances here and there. They really didn't bother me, but I feel over the past couple of months, I've kind of grown out of it, and then this book just ended up getting stuck on my TBR. But honestly, I've still heard really good things about it, and I don't know why I don't really want to read YA romances anymore. I feel like I'm just not going to end up loving them as much as I would have loved them if I read them when I was younger. So I don't really want to kill a book, if that makes sense. But either way, I don't have that many to choose from, so I had to choose something, and this was the top YA book out of all of the YA books that I've left on my TBR that I'm semi interested in reading. So maybe I'll get to this, maybe I won't, who the hell knows. But either way, all I know about this book is that you're following these 2 people who I'm pretty sure were foster siblings when they were younger, and they used to be very protective of each other, and then at one point they ended up getting split up, and now it's years later, and this girl is at a new foster family or something like that, and she's going to go to this new high school, and she's going to meet the guy that she was very close with when she was younger, and basically it's going to end up being their romance. And I have a feeling that he might have a girlfriend at the time, but he's going to end up getting very protective over her anyway, and they're both having issues in their life at the moment, and I don't know, maybe they're gonna be there for each other. I don't really know too much of the details, but I have heard that this book will definitely make a couple of people cry, and it's a little bit intense at times and things like that. So I feel if at a specific moment throughout the next couple of weeks, I'm someone in the mood for an intense read, I might give this one a shot, but honestly, I don't know about it. So yeah, maybe not. But either way, after this, I'm also thinking that I might try Twice Shy by Sarah Hoggle. So this book has been on my TBR basically since it came out. I don't know when the publication date of it was, but I remember buying it right when it was being hyped up, right when everyone was reading it and saying saying really good things and everything like that. And then right after I bought it, I started seeing a couple of like pretty bad reviews. And then because of that, I just like decided to like never pick it up. And I was honestly considering not DNFing. I was honestly considering unhauling this book without even giving it a shot for a while now. And then I randomly came across like one good review from somebody that I kind of like their recommendations. Like sometimes our tastes align, sometimes they don't. And basically for some reason, I kind of like had the feeling like, oh, maybe give this one a shot before I just like randomly unhaul it. So that is kind of why I'm putting it on my TBR this month, because I feel like maybe I will try reading this. And then if it doesn't work out, I'll just like DNF it. Like what's the harm, you know? But basically it's been sitting on my TBR for so long that I kind of just have like a weird stigma towards it. Does that make sense? So yeah, maybe I will end up giving this one a shot. Maybe I won't. And just by the way, I have read the other book by this author, You Deserve Each Other, and I was okay with that book. Like it was a second chance romance, like saving engagement sort of thing. Like these two people were about to get married sort of situation. And the storyline wasn't extremely up my alley, but like I saw the potential in the author, and I have heard that this one is better. So like maybe I'll like it, but also like I don't really read like contemporary romances too often anymore. So like I don't know if this one's really gonna work for me. Basically, I have a lot of mixed feelings towards this. I might give it a shot, I might not. Who the hell knows? We will see at the end of the month. So yeah, Twice Shy by Sarah Hoggle. But anyway, after that, the last book that I'm going to share with you is Down Comes the Night by Allison Sapp. So this is a standalone, and it is also a fantasy of sorts. I don't really know any of the details about it, but I do know that it is some sort of romance, and I'm pretty sure it has like a gothic sort of vibe. And basically everybody on Instagram has decided to bring fall in early. Like everybody's already getting ready for Halloween, and it's literally like, you know, still August. Like at the time I'm filming this video, it is not even September yet. So basically everybody's kind of pushing on me the fall vibes a little bit early. And I was kind of feeling like getting into that sort of mood in like my reading, basically in September. And I didn't really have a lot of like mysteries on my TBR or like anything besides for like general fantasies. And like, I feel like, you know, the fall winter mood does help you kind of want to read those more atmospheric, more like vibey fantasy books. So this is the one that I'm basically putting on my TBR in case that mood hits and I'm willing to give fantasy a shot again. So I, again, don't know too much about this book at all, but I have seen a couple of people review it, and I have seen very good reviews for it. So basically, yeah, that is about that. I should probably share with you what it's actually about, but I honestly don't want to look too much into the book because I feel like if I look into it again, then I'm going to find something that's going to make me not want to read it. So I feel like I kind of have to go into this one blind. So basically, if the fall fantasy mood hits me over the next couple of weeks, this might be the one that I end up picking up. So yeah, that is it. That is all the books that I wanted to share with you for my September TBR. This is not the best TBR that I've made in like, you know, this year, but you know, maybe I'll read some of these, maybe I won't. Who the hell knows? It doesn't really matter. I shared with you some books. Let me know if you have read any of these books, the ones that I'm excited for, or even the ones that I'm not excited for, because if you say good things about the ones that I'm not extremely excited for, maybe it will actually get me excited. So leave me some comments down below. And with that said, thank you so much for watching this video because I really do appreciate it. If you did enjoy it, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not currently subscribed. But either way, with that said, I'm gonna go. So again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, enjoy reading.